All right, welcome back to Two Song Podcast. This is Chris.
And this is Cam.
And this is a show where we try and sort every song ever into one of two categories, either a love song
Or a fight song.
Yep, exactly right.
And this is episode 122 of our show.
Yeah, it is. And that little intro that you just heard in the beginning of that song was a BoyWithUke song, which is the second BoyWithUke song that we've done. The song is called Toxic. And kind of like we'd said way back when we weren't even on video, we were saying if you want us to do an artist, let us know in a review. And two people brought up BoyWithUke in reviews, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, seriously.
And this, the song was a single, but it was also on an album called Serotonin Dreams. And that album came out in May of 2022, so fairly new song. I mean, newer than some stuff that we've done here recently. And it's cool that people listened to the one episode we did. Long Drives was the song.
Yeah.
And then people were like, dang, I like that. I'd like to hear more of that.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
You asked, so you shall receive.
Yeah, here it is. And as soon as I started listening to this song for this episode, I remembered the other song like I just heard it too.
Oh, cool.
BoyWithUke he definitely is great at having that sound, like a certain sound, a signature sound.
Yeah, which is kind of cool to do, like with a ukulele. Of course, that's not all there is.
Yeah.
But ukuleles are kind of are probably a fad that comes and goes, but people be playing them.
Yeah. Oh wow. I worked at a music store in one of the fads during one of the fads, and it was crazy because so many people wanted to get into that instrument really cheap, and ukuleles, something about them, they're small, but from what I understand, they're hard to manufacture. That doesn't matter because people will make them cheaply. Like you can get one, it's not a very good one, but you can get one for like $40, maybe $50 or $60 now. And boy, did a lot of people get into them. And I remember I worked at a different music store when Guitar Hero really took off.
Oh, wow.
And boy, was that a time to be in a music store. And to me, ukuleles were the same thing. I don't know who did it, what show, what movie, what Tumblr account. You guys remember Tumblr? I don't remember who sparked ukulele mania, but it was just a lot of people torturing plastic strings at that time. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was trying to remember my Tumblr page recently. I couldn't.
Oh man,
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Also, there's like 3 ukuleles in the background. I don't know if y'all can see them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not immune to it, but I don't, yeah. It just really took off. And I feel like a lot of people, maybe because they were so they're so small and they were so portable. So you didn't have to be that guy with a guitar everywhere. You could, have a ukulele and you could probably sneak it on people.
Yeah.
It could be concealed and you could be like,
I'm playing uke.
And there are 2 chords on the uke.
yeah, and you don't have to be good. So, for some reason.
Yeah. But you're right, it is hard to, because I'll be honest, his sound is a little bit, like I've heard it somewhere before. So I'm not saying he's the only guy that sounds like this. I like that he commits to all of his music sounding similar, like you can tell it's him.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that it is probably difficult to start with the base of a song, like the base level, the foundation of a song being the ukulele.
Yeah.
And then it turning out sounding like, to me, 21 Pilots.
Yeah. This one especially, which like they they also loved the uke. There was a lot of ukulele in early 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. But also the beats. I think the drummer for 21 Pilots was just like, oh, you don't have to do the same beat for every song. Like there are more beats out there.
Yeah.
And BoyWithUke kind of uses interesting beats too.
Yeah. And another thing, maybe the main thing for me is the stacked vocals. Like the vocals are in unison, but they're not perfect. And then we'll see later, we'll get to it, but there's also, because he did this on Long Drives too, there's a regular normal melody and there's like an affected melody that's like an octave higher.
Cool.
So to me, like having that creepy, haunting, kind of spooky vocal is like, I think 21 Pilots right away.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But this little piece that we heard, I guess, is and just an intro, like a half verse or 3/4 verse.
Yeah.
Because there's other parts that are repetitive that I think would be the chorus. So interesting to be. But I also think in the era of playlists and being on playlists is a huge thing, and being on a TikTok sound is a huge thing. It's kind of like, because we've noticed this trend just in the songs we've done, like, what are you doing with an intro? You gotta not have an intro. You're wasting time.
People are just gonna move on.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to introduce them to the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of a functional intro that has lyrics.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know, the new intro.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because I don't really see these lyrics again,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting because the title is in the first line.
Yep. I know, but the title can be whatever, but the title could have very easily been something else for this song. But,
Yeah.
but I don't know, one word titles are cool, and the word toxic is a buzzword.
That's true, everything's toxic now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Plus, like, I wonder when I see a title like that, if they're hoping that, like, someone will want to hear Britney Spears, and then Spotify will just play other songs that have toxic in the name.
Ooh, interesting. If you had 50-something million streams on a song named Toxic, and someone searched for the Britney Spears song, you might be one of the top results.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's not a bad spot to be in. Cool.
But yeah, you want to hear some more?
Yeah, I think the first thing we get to after that is the chorus. So yeah, let's hear that chorus.
Yeah, cool.
Fun. Dang.
Yeah.
I like whenever lyrics are flowing and then the next line is like a loop to the line before it. Like the O's the first time, though feeling kind of empty without somebody else. O, like the O is technically the next line, but he doesn't say it like that. He like sings it at the end there with a pause. I guess that's the only way to make it. What I'm describing is if it feels tacked on to this line above, you need a pause. Otherwise, it's like, well, these lines are just going fast, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I like how he, for like though I'm feeling kind of empty, is a little bit spaced out, and then feels like he kind of rushes empty without somebody else. It's like cramming those syllables in there in a cool way.
I noticed that too. Yeah, I feel like that's so just a part of flow. If someone makes a choice to have space and then really line up their lyrics with the beat, and then rush and then have space and rush and line up, you know, that's what makes us go like, wow, I like the way that comes across. That's so nice. Because I think the tendency, kind of like we talked about the chorus from last week's episode, Strangers, like if you had to come up with this chorus and you never heard this song before, why you wouldn't have picked that tune. If someone was like, you know, like on TikTok, it'll be like, here's a beat, can anyone rap over this?
Yeah.
I bet you people that aren't good at rapping were like, let me try, but don't record it, it's bad, delete it. And I bet you the thing is like, they are too rigid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people that can't freestyle, it's like, not that you're bad at lyrics, your rhythm is too stiff. You're like, you gotta loosen up, you're thinking about it too much.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned that because there's a trend right now to everyone just use the same beat. I can't even really hear it or imagine it right now, and then just like tell a story in like the worst rap possible.
One thing about me, that's how they all start?
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah.
It's so bad. I'm just like, I did see one guy do it pretty well because he was just like, he's like a kind of a middle-aged guy. And he was just like, I'm just doing this because everybody else is doing it. And it's the whole thing about like, kind of how insane it is that everybody's just trying to do that. And he was like, maybe I'm out of touch, but here I am doing it anyways.
I saw one about a woman who worked with a lady who faked cancer and then a pregnancy, then got married, and then moved away. And I saw one about a young Asian guy who, before he moved to the States, was kidnapped when he was 4. Those are 2 I've seen. So yeah, I'm over that sound.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot. It's
supposed to have fun on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. And the Asian guy was like dancing while he was doing it. and the dancer was throwing them off, and when I see it, I can hear it too. It's like an old timey, not that old. I apologize. It's like late '80s sample record or sample CD beat.
Yeah.
It's like an early beat machine or drum machine beat, and it's as soon as I hear it, I know that one thing about me is coming, and then I'm just like, I can't. They're so cringy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they're almost immediately offbeat.
Yeah.
And it's like, practice. It's like, don't upload this one. But it does take a while, so maybe they're like, I'm not doing it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just had to record audio for it, like a schoolwork assignment, and I did like 10 takes.
Whoa.
And I was just like, I don't like that either, but
Oh,
I
jeez.
don't get the grade.
Nice.
I got 100.
Wow. That's awesome. Congrats.
But look out for our new podcast where we talk about TikToks.
Yeah, that's right. I was actually just going to say, we should do that sound. Should try it.
Oh my god.
Just to see how bad it is. No, we should do that.
Another quick kind of diversion. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but I like what John Mayer has always done on the internet. Back being silly on YouTube or just like showing people how to play his songs, which is a more recent thing.
Mm-hmm.
Recently I saw a video where he just like went on Instagram Live or something and was like, so I just discovered Spotify has all these backing tracks. I used to practice by just like buying tapes of blues backing tracks, but now they're just on Spotify. And so he just did like 3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
And just like soloed over them. And he was like, yeah, so give it a try. I'd love to see you guys just playing around on the with backing tracks.
Cool.
It's like, it's good. It keeps you in time, keeps you honest. Let's see it. I love that. I'm going to give it a try.
That's so cool. I probably will too. And in one, I'll definitely, when they start, the one thing about me.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be really cool, I think, to solo or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I'll record it, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, me either. But dang. Yeah. People, you're right. That could be a totally separate thing.
Yeah.
Where we just dish about TikTok stuff. But I think this first song that we did by BoyWithUke, Long Drives, it was a popular song on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's really young and really savvy with social media, TikTok included.
Yeah.
So it does kind of sort of tie in, I guess.
Ooh, yeah. Nice.
You know how you talked about that the title was in the very first line? To me, the beginning of this chorus is kind of like echoing that. Like, I'm better off all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's some stuff being like, I don't know. It's like, I don't like anybody or need anybody. It's like, why? And deep down, it's because nobody needs or likes me, you know?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's easier to disengage than try hard. And also, people don't want to try hard. And I don't blame them. You know, you don't want to be a try hard. But, but you never showed for me when I was ringing your cell phone. You know, I just...
Yeah, that supports what you just said. It's like he was trying to hang out with somebody and they weren't responding or weren't engaging.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of like insisting, like, well, I'm better off without you. But.
Mm-hmm. But it's interesting because the chorus takes on a lover or a romantic tone, like just an overtone, but the rest of the song doesn't exactly. It could just be two things together. It could be the theme is loneliness and solitude, and one is friends, one is romance.
Yeah.
And they're both.
Yeah.
And I think we theorized last time that BoyWithUke was pretty young. Dude, how cool would it be? Because every time I ever see him, he's anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
How cool would it be if he hadn't even graduated high school yet?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
And it would kind of explain, like, that those could be in the same song for him. Like, I'd like to think of, like, high school relationships as innocent and like, more about companionship and, like, finding someone that just will pick up the cell phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, same. This song also has an interesting structure because lyrical intro, chorus, some kind of break strain or refrain. It's like a bridge, but it's early.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, and it's just like an idea to be like, yo, think on this. I'm gonna do it, several times.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to move on yet. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. And then a verse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's so strange. But it's working.
Yeah.
Should we hear just the confusing bridge thing?
Yeah, let's just hear the I'm drowning part.
Cool. That's what you're talking about, isn't it? With the doubled vocals and the different melody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the way he's kind of like straining his voice. That's also like 21 Pilots kind of tool. I can't remember his name right now, but the guy from 21 Pilots.
Tyler?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I want to convey desperation, and that's one way to do it.
Yeah. And I wonder if it's like at the top of his vocal range, and he's kind of just like trying to slide up into that like gap between falsetto and his regular voice, or if he's just purposely kind of like pinching it.
I know, I wonder about that too. A lot of singers can do that, and a lot of singers can make like their sound, their voice itself, like widen out and like distort, you know?
Yeah.
Like, dang, I wish I could describe it, but I don't really have the vocal terminology. But you know, some people's falsetto sounds really metallic and really nasty, and then some people's sounds really bright and round.
Yeah.
And you like, they're like, oh, your falsetto's really good. Some singers can have like their low or mid voice just be like raspy, and like when a brass instrument or a woodwind plays too loud and it like vibrates the horn in a bad way, but it's, you know, acquired taste. Some singers can do that. And yeah, I wonder if that's how he gets that strain.
I couldn't think of anyone but Brittany Howard.
Oh yeah,
Alabama Shakes and other things.
Oh man, that's a great example, because yeah, she does do that. Oh man, she definitely can do that. And you're like, you're not gonna be able to sing after this, but she can.
I know, yeah. A lot of singers kind of have issues with their voices. I don't know if it's ever been an issue for her.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Man. Yeah, I like that part. I mean, it's all mystical and roomy and atmospheric, and it's like, I don't. Why do we need to slow the pace down already?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad, but it's interesting. I don't know.
Those are good words, by the way. And you could have fooled me. I would have mistaken you for a vocal coach with the words you were using to describe that sound. Like they're speaking of TikTok, they're like vocal coaches react to just people doing stuff on TikTok, and that sounds like what they say. They're just like, oh, they really have this down, and I'm like, you just made that up.
They could have. I mean, I feel like it could just be my TikTok, but it's just nonsense. I mean, all it is like guys that look like us talking about conspiracies, or people selling stuff that's weed or almost weed. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this app was originally like for kids. It was like lip syncing music, and now like look where we are.
Yeah.
Oh well. But yeah, you're right. It could be just people trying to sound smart. And I wasn't. I was just like, dang, these are kind of some of the ways I've noticed it sounding to me.
Yeah. No, you did a great job.
Thank you. I thought of another person that he reminds me of in the verses. I thought about this, and then I forgot it, but it just popped back in my head. So I'm pumped to hear at least this verse. Well, all of them, but this verse, because to me he sounds most like this person. And
cool.
It's a deep cut, so I'm interested to hear feedback.
Yeah, I'll be thinking about it too. I'm gonna see if I can pick it up. I know, I got it.
Really?
Yeah, think so. Hoodie Allen.
Oh man.
I don't think. I knew I had it. I was thinking about this verse, and it's so like lazy, and it's a rap verse, but it's slow and like deliberately behind the beat, and for me, and not until now, but that listen, I was like, yo, that sounds like Hoodie.
I think it has a similar New York Hoodie Allen accent, like kind of in the middle. Had a bit limited time, but I should.
Yeah.
That's not wrong. That's not what I was thinking of, but he does sound like Hoodie. Huh.
Cool.
The way it starts, but life is immaculate, backing it up a bit. Like you said, it's lazy, and it's slow and deliberate, and it's like too vocals recordings that aren't perfect. It reminds me of the chorus of "I Love College" by Asher Roth.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Which is like, dude, no. You're not supposed to admit you've heard that song or like that song. But again, I've said this so many times before, it bears repeating. Being a one-hit wonder depends on the hit, and it depends on how big of a hit. Because some people would be like, that's more than most people will ever get.
That are no hits.
Yeah, 99% of people that play music for fun or for like a little bit of side money are never gonna have like a Spirit in the Sky. Or I Love College, or somebody that I used to know, somebody that you used to know. Like those, I mean, those are huge songs. It's like, well,
yeah, everybody knows their names too. I do.
Yeah, it's like we do. I wonder about that. Yeah, it's an interesting verse. It doesn't, to me, really go. Like it doesn't really. I'm trying to think how to put this.
I know it even starts with "but."
Yeah, because it doesn't match the parts around it, and the things in it are so, like, random, so all over the place to me. Like I guess I've been spoiled by raps with entendres and references and then callbacks, and this is not that. This is just simply like knocking on wood, chewing on chocolate. It's really tangible stuff. It's really like tactile. You can picture this.
I'm rigid, I'm screwed.
Yeah, you can see it. And I pictured it in the house of this guy that I used to be friends with. Not that we're not friends now. We're just not close.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like this has nothing to do, but I just am like, I don't know, maybe something about the knocking on wood part. His parents' house had like a lot of wood, all in like in the inside too. But it's just weird to be like, I don't know, like even like Central C, or like some of the people we've done recently, like their raps are so, like, maybe what I'm really getting at is I get all these references. They're all simple.
Yeah.
They're like down to earth. They're commonplace. And in some raps, I'm like, is that something that's too smart for me? Is that something over my head? Is that something I don't get?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that people would probably be like, yeah, because you're immature and you're white and you like play ukulele. Yeah, of course you get this song. Of course you get all the references.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of that, but I don't know.
They're not like specific, to much of anything.
Yeah, true.
By the way, shout out to Chris's friend Ryan. I don't know. just guessing the name.
Oh, but the friend I was talking about?
Yeah. I've been watching too much of Rick Glassman, so I was so tempted to be like, we'll put his Instagram up here.
Oh gosh.
I did it anyways. So.
You did it anyways.
At the end of this verse, though, we're kind of hoping this kid is not in high school anymore, because he's talking about drinking up bottles and bottles.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I thought that. Though the way it's said doesn't make a ton of sense. I'm drinking up bottles and bottles of booze.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a high schooler, actually. Interesting. I know, that's an interesting choice of words to put in a song. It doesn't exactly like roll off the verse. It's like it just had to add an "and bottles" to make it like long enough to fit at the end of the verse. There.
Yeah. You're right, because what would, like, and I've been here drinking bottles of booze, or I'm just here drinking up bottles of booze, like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of like, I know, it's a little bit of alliteration, all those B's, like, bouncing off each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, it does seem a little awkward.
Yeah, it's kind of a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get another chorus.
Yeah. Do you want to hear that chorus again?
Yeah, let's do it.
Man, I like that chorus. It's really melodic, especially compared to, like, we call the verse lazy. We don't mean that as an insult, but it's like laid back and confident and low effort, low energy too.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, trying to get at what Young Gravy is doing with his raps.
Yep. There's another rapper that I'm not even sure how I came across him, just like a one album flash in the pan guy. Connor Gilbert was his name.
That sounds familiar.
And to me, sometimes BoyWithUke sounds like him. What if it was him? What if he was just like different stage names?
Yeah.
I'm back. That'd be cool.
Let me throw that one out. Move on. I was gonna say about the verse. It's kind of like 21 Pilots incorporated rap into music that doesn't quite fit into the genre of rap either. So I'm so curious if he's like a big 21 Pilots fan.
Yeah, me too.
Not that that verse really sounds much like them, but just kind of the whole song, and that there's rap verses in it as well.
Yeah. When the chorus comes, I can always like pick out those two parts, like, and maybe that's why I'm saying it's more melodic, like though I'm feeling kind of empty without somebody else, I can really hear that affected signal, like the part that's higher up than just the regular vocal.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Either that's sung and recorded and then like tweaked a little, or pitched up but
like doubled and then affected.
Yeah. But like, it's cool that it doesn't speed up. I mean, I know editing softwares are so good now that it doesn't have to affect the timing. That used to be a real challenge, but it's still cool. Like it doesn't, if it is just like the same thing and then just raised, it's so neat that it doesn't lack quality to me. It's not degraded at all.
Yeah, I know. And I still know pretty little about BoyWithUke, but I picture it as all like very homegrown and like kind of self-produced.
Me too.
So it is cool to kind of just picture like a really young guy, sitting in his bedroom and just like experimenting and doubling stuff and pitching it up and all.
Yeah. I think we like romanticize that. Just because supposedly Billie Eilish and Phineas, that was how they got their start. Whether that's true or not, I mean, whatever. But I like that idea. The more time goes on for me, and I am into pop culture and entertainment and celebrities, I'll admit there's some celebrities I just really like. I'll be kind of like let down to find out that, well, here's a guy that's in the news a lot lately, that Adam Levine and Jonah Hill went to high school together. They were good buddies. Jonah Hill's dad was Guns N' Roses' accountant.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, oh, if you're not in movies, comedies, whatever, like Judd Apatow films, there's something wrong with you. If your dad is Guns N' Roses' accountant and your best friend's Adam Levine, it's time for you to be an actor. So sometimes when I'll like see that and learn that, I'll be like, oh man, I thought they went to like an open casting call, like American Idol or something like that, even though most of that is fake. But like, because they'll have like little people meet with them to be like, go home, or you need to go sing for the judges on TV.
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea of like, and I think this is over with, but 1,000 people coming out for the role,
right?
And then they found Jonah Hill, but it's like, well, maybe. But Daniel Radcliffe's dad was a producer on Harry Potter, so it's just like a lot of this stuff is not. It's not a guy loving the craft in his bedroom, like reaching millions of people.
Yeah.
And I hope that it is, though. So I'm saying in this case, the reason we romanticize that is because it's so cool when it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of like comedians recently just be like, yeah, when I was at UCB, I'm not sure if those are the right letters, but like
UCB?
UCB, yeah. When I was at UCB with this person and Aziz was there. It's like, oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah. I think about that often. It would be soul crushing to be at Upright Citizens Brigade alongside some of those people, and then just like watching them take off and be like, dang, statistically, that's it.
Yeah. And I know I heard one of them, wish I could remember, it might have been Pete Holmes, mentioned somebody like in his class that like isn't a comedian anymore.
Oh
like they
gosh.
Didn't make it.
Oh, that's, wow, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure they worked hard to get there and worked hard while they were there and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It seems like you have to work hard and get lucky. Be lucky.
I think so. Yeah, dang.
Man, we're off the rails for this episode.
We definitely are. I think it's mostly my fault.
Well, Chris decided to record in the middle of the night for some reason. So
Yeah.
We're struggling.
Very struggling. Sometimes those are good episodes, though.
Yeah, true. I'm having fun.
Good.
Then like a bridge.
No, I think another verse.
Verse 2.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more like minimalist, but I think verse 2, because
Yeah.
you get something sort of like a bridge later.
Yeah, this just looks like about half as many words as we had in verse 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
Let's see what it sounds like.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, no, it is cool to be able to have a verse that's a rap and a verse that's not as much a rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's much more melodic. And that's a cool way to keep a song interesting.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and props to him for kind of making that his thing early on. Like, can you think of just a band that you heard recently or a band you liked? If the singer who's ever rapped just started rapping in a song, we would all be like so embarrassed for them. So it's cool to be like, yeah, I can't have just like a straightforward song that bores me, or I feel insecure, or whatever it is, or I'm just too loyal to too many different types of music.
Yeah.
So like you said, to keep it interesting, I do a little bit of everything in one song.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And maybe it kind of fits, maybe the delivery fits the lyrics a little better for this verse than the other one.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because it's a little bit like, it is removed, but you can tie the first verse to rap, like, life is immaculate, avoiding my opposites, chewing on chocolate. Like, it's a little bit indulgent and a little bit big up in yourself, but then this one is the opposite. This one is a little bit like depression and I think we said earlier, loneliness and solitude, but
yeah,
the second verse is much more of those things. And so maybe it's like, well, these are softer, more sensitive ideas, so it kind of needs a different delivery method.
Yeah. Which would be very, very cool to see from a high school student. Very, like, aware.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a small guy.
Yeah, maybe so. I like the rhymes in this one a lot too. I mean, I did not like them in the first verse, but these are just kind of simple, like one syllable words, but I don't mind them. They're not like, like a storybook we've all read 100 times where it's like you're teaching children what rhymes are or something like that. Like, these are a little bit better than that, thankfully, but and also creative. Like, that's where you told me lies, and then but this is where good guys die.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So you get lies and guys, but then also die.
Yeah.
And river and better are like not quite it, but like they work as a slight rhyme maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get life and life, and I'm like, but I think he's trying to emphasize something there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it suddenly seems really personal. I guess the only thing that is directed at another character in the universe of the song is the "I'm drowning, let me breathe," because everything else is first person. Like, I'm better off by myself, counting my hours and knocking on wood.
Yeah, you mean before this verse?
Yeah, it's not. That's except for the part about the cell phone, but you never showed for me when I was ringing your cell phone. But like, to me, this verse is very directed at another person.
Yeah, more so than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And just to kind of follow up something that we addressed earlier, it seems a little bit more about like a relationship than just like the people, the friends that you're hanging around with, because it's a little bit more personal, maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
And like, you cannot take my life. I'll find another way. That kind of seems like someone trying to figure out what to do after a relationship ends.
Yeah. And it'd be a little unfair to both groups, like both parties, to be like, all of these words are just, they're for all of you, you know? Like they're for my friends and my ex. It's like, dang, which one did you just insult? Both? You insulted your friends and your ex? Nice. You know? Because like it's just that they deserve a little more customized message.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, what you just said. But now here's the bridge, which is weird. Like it is, I don't know, if the thing before I'm drowning, let me breathe was like this long, drawn out thing where we needed to like really sit with those lyrics. This is the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like almost nothing.
Yeah.
Just like a throwaway.
It's like a little pause to be like, it does kind of ramp up too, though. You can hear like a speeding up kind of sound effect. So maybe it's like, didn't want to go from, I wonder if you're taking my life, to a better off, you know, like that would have been really jarring.
Yeah.
Although, this is not jarring. It's not unjarring.
Yeah, no. It is definitely trying to be like, oh yeah, and back to what we were doing. Because the verse, what we're calling verse 2, is different so far than everything else we had heard. And then, so this is literally just like a very quick bridge, or maybe just, I saw some footage of some, you know, journey up Mount Everest on Reddit today that said there's a lot of bridge crossings or ladder crossings in the path to Mount Everest or to the peak. And it's just like, you know, 6 or 8 feet of a ladder that's like secured to the ground over this just like cavern. And there people are also like should have a rope on them, but they're in those like probably really clunky snow boots and stuff, and they're just having to like step across the ladder.
Whoa.
So that's what this is instead of a bridge.
Yeah, you're right. It's really short. Wait, can people do it on all fours, do you know?
I'm sure you could, but the video I saw was just a guy like walking across.
Wow.
And like 4 other people watching him. I was like, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, that gives me vertigo thinking about it. What if you're those other 4 people? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Are you all like tethered together? I guess
Yeah,
you
just
like
pull him back up or hunker down.
Dude.
Yeah.
But you're right, because then it shoves this like, it's like in a video game where you can drive over like Mario Kart or something, or Crash Bandicoot. You can drive over the strips that make you go faster.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
like we came from that verse, and it's like boom, and like spits us out right in its double chorus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like when you hit one of those that like takes you off on like a shortcut, you can pass a couple people.
Yeah. So this is a double chorus, which is kind of a big chunk, but it's the end. I mean, it's the very last bit.
We're there. It's less than a minute.
Okay.
You want to hear the rest?
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. He did something cool between those, in the middle of the double chorus, where he in the choruses so far slides up on that last O.
Yep.
But to connect it to the beginning of the verse for to do it again, he like slides back down a little bit to get back to the note that he's gonna sing for "I'm Better Off by Myself."
And that "I'm Better Off" was hit with like a different harmony we haven't heard before, which is really pretty, really cool to hear. Yeah, he did like make it seem like a song that you could sing a lot, because the melody like ties into the beginning of the next part.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, me too. One thing we haven't talked too much about is the ukulele chorus. I guess because it ends on that one like suspended chord, it's on my mind. But the chord progression is, I can't really imagine exactly where it is, but it's in some tight little box. Like the intervals aren't far, and it seems like they're just like plucking, kind of driving, kind of like fast, and then
He described every ukulele song ever.
True. It's not really an instrument you finger pick, is it? There's only 4 strings. It would kind of sound. Everyone would sound the same if you did that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like downstrokes, but a little aggressive, I think, for like typical ukulele music.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I like it. But it's also, there's like a part that's chromatic where it doesn't like really miss any note, and it feels like it like winds down and then starts back. So it's just cool. It's almost like progressive rock ukulele or something. You know?
Yeah.
The music and the progression at least.
Yeah. Cool. Which also describes 21 Pilots.
Oh yeah, it does. Dang. I thought you were gonna say ukulele again.
Yeah. No, then that would be just attacking you for no reason.
But what a fun one. I mean, yeah, you know, I'm a fan of this
Yeah.
person, kid. What if it's just like gorillas? What if it's like an avatar and it's, you know, someone that our age or older than us? That'd be crazy. That'd be cool though.
Yeah, I know. His voice does sound pretty young though.
Yeah, I know.
But that would be cool. Just like,
cool.
There's got to be a reason he doesn't want us to see his face, right?
Yeah.
But I was very surprised to see just how regular the folks behind the gorillas are. Like, they're just regular guys.
Yeah.
Saw them live and I was expecting like, I don't know, holograms. But it's just a bunch of guys up there playing instruments.
Darn, yeah. Well, fun one. I think really a listener picked it, and we appreciate that. Or 2 listeners.
Yeah.
So who's going first?
Oh yeah.
If no one really picked it.
Well, we'll let the listeners decide.
Whoa, how crazy would that be? That would take a while.
Yeah. We're going live now. Let's see if I could go first, because it's been a while, I think. Dang. Okay, yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Alright, so there is a rap verse, but it's like the softest rap I've ever heard, bro. And not exactly, I mean, he's certainly not a violent guy, and it's about chocolate, and it's lazy or laid back, but it's also about bottles and bottles of booze, so that's kind of another way that it could kind of fit into the rap canon a little bit more. And the ukulele, I think, is inherently a whimsical instrument.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might have used whimsical when we were talking about listening to the song. Maybe not. But he's also clearly like working through something and having issues with being alone, but kind of choosing and struggling with if it's better to be alone or if it's better to, I guess, have people around you affect you in negative ways, which I think is relatable for a lot of people right now. You know, we had to go and be alone almost entirely for extended periods of time, some more than others, and then just like now we're kind of back in this weird place where everybody's insisting that like everything's fine and we can all go out and do the things that we used to do and it should be normal, but it's like not. So there is like conflict, certainly, and but he's not like focused on like kind of being so down after a relationship. Like he doesn't get specific, he doesn't mention any specifics of like a romantic relationship, although we kind of get that sense. But I think actually in contrast to our previous episode, which I called a fight song, this one just doesn't have enough tension in its sound for me to make it a fight song. Even though it's similar content, or like source material maybe, there's not enough like pain and like struggle in it, and there's certainly not enough sonically to push it over to fight song for me. Like it's softer and led by ukulele and kind of fun and bouncy, but not quite upbeat. So I have to say love song.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Because I agree. I think that it is kind of a soft song, and sonically it is really pleasant. It's really major, meaning the music isn't moody. It sounds, predictable and safe musically. Just, from a music theory standpoint, not the whole entire mix, the whole entire master track, the finished product, but it doesn't make, the music doesn't trick us, which is easy to do because we're kind of, just sophisticated animals, but the music doesn't trick us into being like a horror movie or sad or infomercial asking for money. Like there are just certain types of things that music can make you feel, whether you are aware of it or not, before you feel it, And so to me, this one was just like you said, happy, and ukulele is definitely whimsical. I was sitting there thinking about instruments that people like think of as one way all the time, and then like one person, maybe two, can slip through and do something totally different. And then we go, wow, there's these two guys that are cello virtuosos, and they don't play classical music, and they don't play chamber music or anything schmaltzy. They do like Michael Jackson, AC/DC, do like these wild covers with cellos. And I'm just here to say that those are the two guys that got through. Those are the guys that are allowed to do that with cellos. And Chris Steele, who we talk about a ton on this show, he took the mandolin, a kind of percussive, reverby, echoey instrument, and made it whatever he wants. I mean, honestly, it can be angry, it can be sound effects, it can be all these things, but he's the only guy that will let through. As an audience, as a culture, we go, no, we don't like that because it's too out of the mold. Like if someone were to just be, you know how Weird Al fits the accordion? Like Weird Al and the accordion were made for each other.
Yeah.
If someone ever took the accordion and wrote like really dark, scary music with it, it'd be like, okay, we can't handle that too much. One dude can do it. And so I'm saying that ukulele, even though this is a departure from what you would typically think, you can still hear moments of regular ukulele style playing.
Yeah.
I kind of think overall this is a little bit like emo rap. Emo rap is kind of fallen away just because some of the pioneers of it don't make it anymore. And sadly, a couple of the pioneers of it are no longer with us. But it's, it's not in the mainstream like it once was, but it could still, people could still make it. And it wouldn't be, I don't think, hack at this point. Yeah. It's not that, that long ago, not that far away. So I think this is, emo rap a little bit. I think it's fun. I like his voice, and I like that it's not full-blown emo rap. I just don't know what subgenre even to tie it to, which is a good thing. That's a compliment.
Yeah.
That it doesn't fit really in anywhere, because I think people are going to really be gravitate toward it because it's authentic. But I think it is a lot to do with depression and separation, and a recent separation. So I think because it is emo rap, because it's kind of slow for rap, the beat is cool, but the beat is really laid back and not very aggressive. None of the rest of the music is aggressive. I think that it is ballad, technically, kind of like a breakup ballad. Because sometimes you can break up and be angry. Sometimes you can break up and still be on the love spectrum. Whether you're loving what you two of you had, even if you don't love the person. There's so many things it could be. And I think it most closely, for me, aligns with love song.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. For a second there, I thought you were going to say fight song. And that would have been interesting because have the similarities between this song and our previous song, and we kind of flipped on them. But
Yeah. Oh, that's right. 'Cause you said, yeah, that'd be funny if I did that.
yeah. But cool. Yeah. Great call.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you all again for suggesting it. That was very cool, and we're glad to do it because things I've heard about Boy With Uke I like.
Yeah, seriously. Some fun stuff, and we really appreciate the recommendation.
Yeah.
We would love to hear any song that you want us to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to. So
Yeah.
give us a review. Only if you're going to give us 5 stars or maximum 5 thumbs up, 100 tomatoes. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I know.
But sincerely, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Chris.
Yeah, of course, man. Thank you. Appreciate you.
And we'll talk to you all again next week.